This was a story relating to Trump's case with the quote-unquote hush money, where he is at that trial with Stormy Daniels, the NDA that she violated, and now he's being sued for it. I actually don't even know what the basis is. I think it might be defamation or something. Now we're switching over to the other bullshit case being had against him, the big one, where allegedly he inflated the value of his property, Mar-a-Lago, in order to get more favorable rates on a loan. Now, this has been controverted by literally everyone involved, but the judge is still pushing for it and has pushed for the absolute maximum bond, a truly staggering $450 million after additional fees, which was then reduced to $170 million, still a staggeringly high bond, especially considering it's a completely bunk case, a sham, but she's pursuing it and she's trying everything she can to punish him, clearly as a political strategy. It is much the same as Putin's political adversaries ending up with polonium in their system, just without quite as much violence involved. It's the same thing. It's just political attacks from one side against the other. But in this case, it's obviously very bad. It's undermining basic US law. And it might do serious damage to New York itself if people lose confidence in it, which they probably will. So this is about that case, the alleged fraud case. Now, as I said, it was reduced to 170 million from 450, which is better, but still ridiculously high. And then something interesting happened, which I would like to look into further, actually, but it might be that there is no way to look into it further. The information isn't available yet. A insurance company in the US offered to pay the full amount. I don't know what the game is. I don't know what the strategy is. It could just be that they think that Trump would make a better economy for them to flourish in, and they like the advertising of all of Trump's fans suddenly wanting to buy insurance from them instead and getting their name out there. You know, maybe that's worth 170 million to them. They offered to pay it. And Letitia James, New York's most corrupt judge, probably, said that they're not allowed to. Why would you care where the dollars come from? Why is this because you want them to try and give it directly to Trump, and then there's some restriction on what he can do with that because he's a political candidate now? Were you trying to tempt them to look like they were bribing Trump? Well, it turns out that she has been told to fuck off. Breaking: judge smacks down Letitia James, rules in favor of Trump in fight over $175 million bond. Bear in mind, we're still talking about the city of New York being given $170 million. We're still talking about a downside here, a significant, I wouldn't say loss exactly, but a significant unpleasantness. But at least in this case, the way it's being done is less harmful to Trump. And she's been told, no, dollars from here are just as good as dollars from there for a bond, which is what I thought the point of a bond is. Anyone can pay it. Right? Well, either way, a judge on Monday smacked down Marxist tyrant. This is the Gateway Pundit. They're going to be doing some punditry. That's fine, though. Letitia James, and ruled in favor of Trump in a fight over $175 million bond. On Friday, Letitia James asked a judge to void Trump's $175 million bond that he posted to appeal the civil fraud case. Letitia James argued that California-based Knight Specialty Insurance Company is not approved to do business in New York. James also questioned whether Kasich, that's the insurance company, has the funds to back up the $175 million bond Trump previously posted. Based on Kasich's policyholder surplus in its most recent annual financial statement of $138 million, the limitation of loss on any one risk that Kasich is permitted to write is $13.8 million, Letitia James' office wrote in a 26-page filing according to Fox News. The face amount of the bond exceeds this limitation by $161.2 million. I think that's kind of up to them, right? The feel says you get the bond refunded when you show up for trial. Yeah, makes sense. James also urged in her filing, Kasich is not qualified to act as the surety under this standard because its management has been found by federal authorities to have operated affiliated companies within Kasich's holding company structure in violation of federal law on multiple occasions within the past several years. I'm not sure I believe that from Letitia James of all people, but Kasich does not now have an exclusive right to control the account and will not obtain such control unless and until it exercises a right to do so on 2 days' notice, James's office wrote in the filing. And that sounds like there's some plausible things there, but it also sounds like motivated reasoning. Letitia James asked the judge to void Trump's bond and require him to post another bond within 7 days of the court's decision. The judge ruled against Letitia James on Monday and said Trump's $175 million bond can stand. Fox News, court rules Trump's $175 million bond stands. Fox News reported, former President Trump's $175 million bond judgment stemming from his non-jury civil trial will stand. A New York judge ruled Monday after New York Attorney General Letitia James attempted to invalidate it. Lawyers for James on Monday argued that the court should void Trump's slashed judgment of $175 million in his non-jury fraud trial. I'll skim a bit, see if I can find something new. The court decided the $175 million needs to be in cash, not in mutual funds or securities where the value can fluctuate. The court said Knight Insurance cannot trade or move the money, but said they will retain control of the account. The court also ruled that Knight Insurance must provide a monthly financial statement to James showing the $175 million in cash, and decided that the agreement cannot change without approval from the court. Interesting. So maybe they don't have the money to back it up. Don't know. Maybe the idea is the entire company is worth that much, or the entire account or something. But maybe they're pulling a fast one. Maybe they don't actually have the $175 million and couldn't even if they liquidated all their assets. Maybe they could if they liquidated everything, but it's very possible they couldn't. Either way, even if they're playing fast and loose here with this bond, the whole thing's a sham anyway, so I have no impunction against that. Kieran says, it's more the obvious incompetence rather than the scumbaggery that pisses me off with this. If you're going to try and screw me, at least do a good job of it. Pumas says, never mind how many rascals New York City lets out with no cash bail. Exactly. Field says, the entire goal of this case is to seize Trump Tower. That's it. Everything written in this case makes sense under that rationale. Mostly agree with you. I think the original goal was to seize Trump's election war chest for $450 million. If he lost all of that, it would make it a lot harder to campaign. They decided, backup plan. If we can't get that, we'll get Trump Tower. Or hey, maybe we'll get both. So far, it looks like they're going to get neither. It looks like in this case, actually, the $175 million is not even coming directly from Trump. So they're actually going to get nothing. Yeah, seizing Trump Tower could be morale damage to Trump, but honestly, I think he's above things. He's above relying on such things. He has other things to do. And the more they with him like that, if he does eventually get in, the more he's going to retaliate. Kieran says it's a symbol, but doesn't he have several towers? He might do, but Trump Tower is obviously the symbol. The thing is, if they take it, it's more of a symbol of improper state overreach. It might actually be valuable to him for them to do that. The problem is, if they take it, they could do whatever the hell they want with it. You could get a lot of pictures of Trump Tower being vandalized and no one doing anything about it. You can get pictures of the Trump letters being taken off the building. All this stuff. The left would love that shit, but I don't think it would win many more supporters. It probably would be viewed as a callous act. Such as they would turn it into housing for illegals. They probably would. They'd do something like that, yeah. Eventually, Trump probably would get it back, assuming that we don't go into something much worse in the near future. He probably would get it back eventually, but it would take a while, and it wouldn't be the same to rebuild large parts of it. But hey, after Trump is done being president, he can take back hold of his empire and focus on that again. Then again, he is quite old. Maybe he won't bother. Maybe he'll retire. I don't know if he could retire, to be honest. He doesn't seem like the kind that would.